It's the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. We are back. Ellis Gelios has been working feverishly behind the scenes through the week to get us an exclusive interview, and for our listeners across the South Australian Flow Network. Ellis, I think football lovers out there listening today will be very familiar with this person that you've managed to bail up. Tell us about who you managed to get and how.
So we've got the Sturt captain on, James Battersby. I actually went to school with Mr. Battersby. A lot of people pumping his tyres from a very early age, but always kept a very level head throughout all of it, and has gone on to amass a fantastic career at local level, and obviously experience playing in the AFL as well.
Well, he did. He was on the Adelaide Crows list, you are right. A few interesting facts about James Battersby that people may not know. He began his playing days round 3, 2013. He's still only a youngster. He's only played 136 SANFL games, which I was surprised for mine. I thought he played 250 by now.
Yeah, you would think so, particularly stepping into the shoes of a giant like Zane Kirkwood to take the captaincy. So it says a lot about just how much upside this young fella's got.
Absolutely, it does. He barracked for Carlton growing up. Who was his favourite player?
I would hazard a guess it might have been old Juddy.
Correct. Chris Judd, of course, being a midfielder of note. But rather than giving too much away, let's get to this interview. You recorded this yesterday, I believe?
Correct.
Excellent. Let's get to it now. Our very own Ellis Gelios chatting with an old friend and the captain of the Sturt Football Club, James Battersby.
James, the season is not too far away. Sturt, probably not the best season back in 2020, but Marty Mattner's back at the helm, and you as the captain, I'm sure, are buzzing right now, mate.
Yeah, it was a bit of a disappointing season last year, or the last couple of years, after a bit of recent success we had, about 4 or 5 years ago now. Having Marty back, as you mentioned, has been great. It's changed the club again. I think he's come back with a new lease of life since his tenure with the AFL team with the Crows. He's come back and probably better and improved himself from what he was when he was first in at Sturt. So the boys are definitely excited to have him here. As you said, the season's coming around now. Everyone's finished their running around the oval. We're starting to do match play now, which everyone loves. So there's a real buzz around the place, and we're really looking forward to the season and what it brings.
Your first encounter will be against Woodville West Torrens, obviously the reigning premiers in the SANFL. You'll be travelling there on Good Friday. As a captain, I've got to ask, how do you prepare psychologically knowing there's such a massive 2 points up for grabs?
I guess with the SANFL, you kind of put what happened last year aside. SANFL turnover is massive most years, so Eagles would be a great side if they recruited really well. But I think you're more worried about what your end and how you prepared and what you can do, more about the opposition. So we just go back to our structures, our game plans, the personnel that we have, and worry about if we do everything right on our end, sticking to game plans, sticking to structures, we'll give ourselves the best chance to beat not only the reigning premiers, but anyone in the competition on a given day. If we do that for long enough, we believe that we can beat anyone. So kind of take the opposition more out of it. I guess it would be a little tinkering with game plan, but if we stick to our game plan and structures, we believe will give us the best chance to beat anyone.
As we mentioned off the top there, obviously 2020 not the greatest season for the Unley Oval faithful. But like we've said, Marty Mattner's back. Now I want to ask you, obviously the architect of the 2016 and 2017 phenomenal premiership era at the club, have there been any noticeable changes to the way the team's going about training or in relation to game plans and tactics this season?
I think, the game's changed since then a little bit, even though it's quite recent. The game evolves every year. So, he's coming with a couple of different philosophies. I think he still has his main philosophies that he had when he was here and probably will have them forever. But there's been a little bit of tinkering with the game plan. I think the main thing from Marty is he's come back with, as I said, a new lease of life and probably learn from his experiences at the AFL level and come back and implement it into the SANFL level, which has been awesome to see. All the boys have noticed a positive change in the way he's gone about his coaching. But in terms of game plan, it's pretty rock solid with a couple of minor plans to see if we can get some improvements in some other areas.
Speaking of AFL experience, you yourself have plenty of it. Obviously drafted to the Crows back several years ago now, James. You've said in past interviews it was a moment where you had to pinch yourself when you walked into the club for the first time after being drafted and seeing all the famous and respected members of the playing group back then as now having been your teammates. I wonder, how much did it develop you as a player to ride tackles from Paddy Dangerfield and have guys like Rory Sloane in your ear back during that time?
Yeah, great experience as a 17-year-old or 18-year-old getting drafted. It's such an awesome experience. It makes you grow up and kind of realise what footy's all about. You learn so much, and you wish you could take it in all as a 18-year-old, but you probably learn more about it when you're probably my age now, in your mid-20s. You probably learn, that's why they did that, or that's what they were talking about. So obviously the more experience you have in the AFL system, the more you learn. But that 1 year was awesome, and I still repeat or go back onto that stuff that I learn daily, and even when I'm playing now. So valid experience, such as talking to, as you said, the likes of Paddy Dangerfield, Rory Sloane, picking their brain about footy and what they do, how to prepare, was such invaluable experience. Experience that I still use today. You just wish you could probably bottle it up and hopefully use it when I was a bit younger and use it better or wisely. But yeah, no, that experience was invaluable, and I still use it today.
James Battersby, still just 25. Let's discuss you for a bit. It's been quite the rapid rise that we've seen from you since returning to Sturt after your experience at the Crows. So many individual accolades. You won the Mark of the Year back in 2016, the Advertiser SANFL Team of the Year 3 times across 2016, 17 and 2020. Finished third in the place for the Margery Medal. Won the 2020 Parker Morton Medal as well, and you've got those 2 fantastic premierships on your CV, as we've already mentioned, and the current and obviously you're the current captain of the club as well. Are there any other goals that you'd still like to tick off with Sturt?
Yeah, there definitely is. My main goal, I obviously have those 2 premierships, but is to captain a premiership side. I think that's the ultimate achievement for a player. Obviously, been there and done it. Yeah, might not get a chance to do it again. So every year that goes past, you're missing out. So that is the main and ultimate goal, is to hold that premiership cup up at least one more time. So that's what we strive for. That's what, when I go to training and give up all my sacrifices, is to, hold that premiership, taste that premiership success, hopefully, not only one more time, but plenty more times. But yeah, definitely that one more time premiership hold would be the main goal for me in the rest of my career.
Well, James Battersby, it's going to be a huge opening to the season on Good Friday when you travel to the reigning premiers. We wish you and the Double Blues all the very best in 2021, and thanks so much for speaking to us on Flow FM.
No worries. Thanks for having me. Thank you.
James Battersby there with our very own Ellis Gelios. And Ellis, you are a Sturt fan in the SANFL, are you not?
I am an absolute diehard Blues fan from way back. A lot of memories spent on the old Unley Oval, obviously known as a different name now for sponsorship reasons, but we won't get into that. But yeah, Sturt close to my heart, stat man.
All right, that's good. So, and you went to school with the great man, as you outlined there. What was he like?
Yeah, he was, he sort of kept to himself at times, but obviously flourished on the sporting scene and was quite the socialite too when it mattered. So, had some good experiences with old James. Any
Jack in the Pack sessions or end-to-end there at the Oval did you got to take part in? Did you get to take a hanger or 2 on him?
There were a few lunchtime sessions where I might have tried, because you got to understand his stat, man. I went to school with quite a big AFL playing fraternity, and I wasn't quite much of an AFL star in my youth, and so I'd always try and kind of show off a little bit here and there and go back to the 50 and throw the grass in the air and really make myself look like I was something, and then I'd just absolutely shank it into the stands. But the great man, I'm sure back in the day, kept my confidence high with a few compliments here and there.
Oh, I'm surprised that you didn't get up high and then headed over the crossbar, but that's a topic for another day as well. Ellis Gelios here on the Flow Friday Night Sports Show. Great interview, mate. Well done.
Appreciate it.
You can check that out via the podcast as well, wherever good podcasts are kept.